Hey guys, Christian with Mollison Detailer here, and I want to talk to you about the problems with ceramic coatings. One big thing that I want to point out to begin with is that they're not invincible, regardless of how some detailers or some professionals may pitch them to you. Especially sometimes the companies themselves will market it in such a way that it makes the product seem invincible. Not the case whatsoever. A lot of the misconceptions I'll see commonly are that they're scratch proof. A lot of folks believe that they're scratch proof, and it's not their fault. Again, a lot of professional detailers, a lot of companies make it seem that way, but they're not scratch proof. They're scratch resistant, and they're scratch resistant to wash, marring, and things like that. If you put your key to it and scratched at it, it's obviously going to put some marks in there. Now, not as easily as it could if it was just bare clear coat, but it would leave a mark in there. But washing it with your sponges and wash mitts, a real soft boar's hair, lamb's wool brush, things like that, it's going to be resistant to those types of things. And if you're keeping them lubed up properly, or using good premium quality soaps and stuff, it's going to be very difficult to scratch at them like that. Now, again, if you rubbed your brush in dirt and then went to scrubbing at it, you're going to leave some marring in there. So they're not invincible and completely scratch proof. They're resistant to your general wash, marring. If you're using like your polisher or something to put a wax on, it's not going to be easy to leave like some buffer trails or something like that from your soft wax pad. Those types of things. Also, with water spotting, this is another thing they're not impervious to. They do keep water spots from getting onto your clear coat and bonding into your clear coat, but they're not impervious to them themselves. So your ceramic coatings, they have their self-cleansing properties. They do resist things bonding to them. They do push stuff away, kind of like trying to stick the same side of two magnets together. But if self-cleansing property, their extreme hydrophobic properties are one of their biggest strengths and weaknesses when it comes to water spots, because you'll get water on this coating and they can bead water so thick, they can just push huge amounts of water away and bead it so much that if it was allowed to just sit there and bake, it could water spot. And it's doing its job to the best of its ability, but it's not impervious to it. It's kind of like your roof sealing. When you get your roof sealed up and it's doing its job, whenever it rains and stuff's getting on it, it's washing down off the sides, and you'll see those white streaks, or you'll get your black streaks on the side, and that just means that all of that yuckiness that's streaking down the side of your RV is being pushed off of your roof by your sealant doing its thing. So it's the same kind of idea with your ceramic coatings. It's repelling this stuff, it's keeping it off, but it in itself, it can have some metal stick to it and stuff like that. But again, that's easy to overcome if you were keeping it dried off. Maybe keep a nice little layer of wax on top of there just to help boost that ceramic coating. And it's not going to rain one time and then just boom, you got water spots all over there. If you take the proper care, dry it off when you've got to, throw a little quick detailer on it, whatever the case may be. Use your proper wash methods, and you can fight that water spotting. The coatings have to be maintained, so it's not just we put our coating on and then boom, the vehicle is going to look like it did the day it was put on forever. They still get dirty, stuff still gets on it, still gets dusty, those sorts of things. So it's still got to be washed, and it's got to be washed properly, just like you would wash your vehicle if it didn't have the coating on it, with your pH neutral soaps. You want to make sure they're well lubricated, you're moving in straight lines, you're not allowing it to drip dry. All of those things still has to be washed. So it's much easier to wash your vehicle. It's much, it's easier to get that freshly waxed, freshly glossy, just coated look when you have that coating on there. But it's not going to just clean itself. I guess that's the point I'm getting to. So those are some of the biggest misconceptions, is that they're impervious to scratches. Not the case. They are resistant to your general wash, marring, and things like that, but they can be keyed and it will leave a mark. They're not impervious to water spotting. They can get water spotting, but you just need to take your proper preventative measures, do your proper wash procedures. Don't allow it to drip dry. Don't let water bake onto the surface, those sorts of things. And they have to be maintained. So they have to be maintained. And also, I do recommend a lot of times that once you have something ceramic coated, you do want it to be at least once a year, get it checked out and make sure you're not having any kind of contamination bonded to it and that it's doing A-OK. If you're keeping it out from underneath trees, if you're keeping it away from road work and different kinds of metals and stuff like that, it's not going to get contaminated all that much. But contamination can occur, so it's always good to check it out and just make sure that everything looks good and is functioning as it should, the best that it possibly can. So those are just a few of the common misconceptions and common problems that you can see with a ceramic coating. They're not perfect. Nothing is perfect, especially when we're talking about protecting our RVs. You know, there's nothing out there that is absolutely impervious to everything. So I hope answers some questions for you. I'm going to shine a little light on some of the negative sides of your ceramic coatings. And again, if you have any questions, as always, feel free to call me at 334-377-0123. Check me out at myawesomedetailer.net, facebook.com/myawesomedetailer, or just shoot me an email at christian@myawesomedetailer.net. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.